It is the 7th of the 2nd, 2012, and this is today's climate change update. Well, let's go ahead and get started on SOP.net. Europe weather brings continent to a halt. The frigid temperatures and snowfall that began in Eastern Europe last week have reached Western Europe, snarling airport traffic in Britain and turning Rome white. It finally got really cold in Europe. Rome and the Netherlands recorded the lowest temperatures in 27 years, and kids were making snowmen outside the Vatican. But the sudden Arctic freezing last week in the Ukraine, Hungary, and the Balkan states that steadily crept up to the continent also took a toll, with 131 reported dead in the Ukraine alone. We have a couple of flashback pieces, basically. SOP focus, climate change, food shortages, and economic crisis coming to a town near you. Now, this is a story they ran back on the 20th of June in 2011 that I covered. Just covering the extreme climate change and the record-breaking year we had last year. Life on this earth just changed. The North Atlantic current is gone, and I reported on this. This is back in 14 September 2010. This is after the BP crisis, and definitely the weird weather has entailed since then. The latest data establishes that the North Atlantic current, also called the North Atlantic drift, no longer exists. Along with it, the Norway current. These two warm water currents are actually part of the same system that has several names depending on where in the Atlantic Ocean it is. The entire system is a key part of the planet's heat regulatory system. It keeps Ireland and the United Kingdom mostly ice-free and Scandinavian countries from being too cold. It is what keeps the entire world from another ice age. And it's just insane what the ocean currents affect the weather, of course. And another one, Gulf Loop current is broken. Mini ice age predicted for Europe. 28 December of 2010 they came up, and they have photographs of that as well in a video attached. Philippines had a major aftershock, magnitude 6.0 earthquake, and they've got a really stunning representation of data. Japan earthquakes in 2011, a visualization map, and they go through pinging all the earthquakes and their depths. Well over 17,000 of them. Mass evacuation in Australia as floodwaters rise. Floodwaters rose Monday in parts of Queensland, but residents of a threatened town in the Australian state were thrown a lifeline with news that the levee on the swollen river might hold. Thousands of Australians have been forced to abandon their homes as a record deluge sweeps through areas still reeling from last year's devastating flood, with St. George and Queensland South under the most threat on Monday. And again, Australia doesn't seem to be catching a break at all. Misery as Italy cold snap, death toll rises to 17. A lot of pretty extreme things going on in Italy right now. Over to the extinction protocol. Scientists still mystified by the largest dolphin stranding in the Northeast in 20 years. Nearly 130 dolphins have beached themselves on Cape Cod in the last 3 weeks, with 92 dying in what has become the single largest stranding in at least 2 decades in the Northeast, and the International Fund for Animal Welfare reported on Monday. And they found 4 more on Sunday. Alert level raised on Indonesia's Semeru volcano, SEMERU. Slight increase in activity in the volcano has been observed by the Indonesian Geological Survey in recent weeks, and its alert level was raised to 3 out of 4 on February 3rd. And they're saying that's ongoing rumbling. 53 dead in 6.7 earthquake that leaves the Philippines reeling as the region is hit by a 6.0 aftershock. And as the big quake that happened yesterday, there's a lot of videos and extension footage out on that, big cracks in the roads and that kind of thing. And that's about all new they have tonight. Over to the watchers, they've got a dust storm in Saudi Arabia story. Massive dust storm hit Jeddah Saudi Arabia disrupting road traffic and bringing public life to almost a standstill. Many schools suspended classes and informed parents to take their kids home well before the school day had ended. While some school authorities have declared there will be no classes on Wednesday, civil defense units were called into action to respond to several automobile accidents and downed trees and the like. I got a El Hero update. They've got 2 videos out of today's flight. This is the 6th. We can see how they measured gas levels and took thermal images, which would be useful if they made it public. There is a strong degassing blue stain that can be observed, and the green stain is all the way up inside the harbor now. Yeah, so El Hero is definitely gearing up. Over to Ice Age now. They're covering the European stuff pretty good. Ice clogs canals in Venice. In the north, rescuers had to pluck people from their homes as piles of snow reached 3 meters, 10 feet in some areas. Big freeze tightens grip on Europe. Death toll now well over 200. More blizzards for Romania. Southern and southeastern Romania are again under code orange for snow and blizzard warning. Major snowfall in Rome. Check it out. Heating allowed only 10 to 12 hours per day. They have photos on that. Heating in homes only legally allowed for 10 to 12 hours a day to cut down on pollution. And of course, record snowfall in Bosnia. Sarajevo is paralyzed, and more than 100 remote villages have been cut off by 6.5 feet or 2 meters of snow. Over to the RSOE. I'm just going to cover some of the new stuff. Iceland Katla volcano is again on the alert status. We've had some increased activity in the last 48 hours. They're saying it's due to tectonic stress, and it might not be connected to the volcano, but we're definitely keeping an eye on that. I've been keeping an eye on that for a couple of years now. Cameroon, Africa. Mount Cameroon volcano has erupted once again. Alert status is up, and that's in the southwest province of that country. And of course the Indonesia Semeru volcano story, of course. And the earthquake in the Philippines. That's about all new climate-wise they have. I've got some pretty traumatic news coming up on the nuclear end. Going to E&E News. WAPO U.S. government emails reveals serious discussion of setting off explosives to penetrate contaminated vessel of Fukushima reactor so water could be applied. Now this is reactor number 2. Bloomberg TEPCO injects boric acid to prevent criticality at reactor number 2. Gizmodo, just when you thought it was over, temps soar 26.7 degrees Celsius in the last few hours at reactor number 2. TEPCO admits they don't have a clue about what's going on. Now that's the first truth I've heard out of TEPCO in over a year. News agency, helicopters fly over Fukushima to measure air for possible effects of reactor's temperature increase. And Washington State, 89 sieverts per hour measured in soil near Columbia River in Washington. Worst contamination, just feet from groundwater. Nuclear experts, pipe ruptures in California nuke plant could have led to meltdown, China syndrome, catastrophic radioactivity release, and they have a video attached to that. Again, they're not telling us the whole story, they never do. TEPCO water injections may no longer be able to properly cool down melted nuclear fuel in reactor number 2. It says criticality is not taking place. Come here, Freya. Come here, baby. My dog's over there whining. Temperature source mysterious inside Fukushima nuclear reactor despite pumping in more water and boric acid, of course. Disbelief, quote unquote. Japan government discontinued radiation monitoring programs weeks after meltdowns. It had been operating for over 50 years, a world record, and I wonder why they quit. And we've got videos of steam vapor rising from Fukushima reactor number 2, videos involved in that, and again that's where the temperature is rising. Temperature doubles at spent fuel number 3, up 70% SPF on number 6. And Arnie Gunnarsson put out a big video. I attached my last night's climate change to the series. I'm afraid the government will try its very best to hide numbers coming from Fukushima. No death rate data for areas near meltdown. Why is that? Why is that? And TEPCO's checking if chain of nuclear fission has occurred again in melted fuel at reactor number 2 after temperature rises sharply. And again, they don't know what's going on. Yeah, right. And leakage from reactor number 4 indicates fuel is inside. Fukushima Diary is attacked every the website Fukushima Diary is attacked every 15 minutes and run on 4 servers, and they have videos attached on that. And this is a guy out of Fukushima trying to get the truth out, and he's already escaped Japan, but he's still putting the news out as best he can. Well, that's about all I have for you tonight. Of course, if I missed anything, please leave your comments below or attach your videos. Enjoy while you can, everybody. Thanks for your support.